I want your money, I'm strapped for cash. I need your money too lazy to get a job. Give me your money, I'm not being funny. Give me your money today.
This is a brilliant work of satire. It's my new favourite show.
Hey, freeloaders! Guess what today is?
Did you miss me? Admit it, you missed me. Yeah, your old pal, the Wizard of SNARK, needed to take some time off. We've all had a year and a half, and not even the Fortress of Whimsy was spared the slings and arrows of the desert of the real. But I'm back in the saddle thanks to a couple old friends, Gen X filmmaking legend Kevin Smith, and a certain blonde-haired, blue-eyed beefcake.
Ay, 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 ay.
No, not that one! I still need to review that fash moron's book, aka The Hero's Enchiridion, but for assholes. And by review, I mean cast Fireball on it, because I think we all need a reminder of the Tribunal's stance on racism, sexism, homo, trans, xenophobia, and white supremacy, especially now that Nurgle's rot and general incompetence has officially put fatter, dumber Hitler on the losing side of history. Ugh, that unfulfilled obligation nags at me like a hangnail. But once again, we can table Nazi Viking Don Quixote for another time. Because once again, I'm here to say, go and check out the cool thing, and today I cast my gaze upon Masters of the Universe Revelation. And since I can't really talk about it without giving away the magic trick from here on out, here there be spoilers.
This station is conducting a test of the emergency
spoiler warning, hoot hoot, put it on mute
system. This is only a test.
Well, kids, it's been a while since we've been to Eternia, legendary first planet at the center of the universe. Sorry, fellas. And not much has changed. The forces of Snake Mountain, led by the evil Skeletor, lay siege to Castle Grayskull, and once again the day must be saved by the mighty He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
Brainless idiots! You couldn't even beat a motley group of gnomes!
God damn it! Piss off! I'll settle your hash later. No, I'm talking about the classic barbarian hero demigod from the 1980s, not some self-congratulating white supremacist who thinks a strong sense of justice and goodness only comes from hitting the weight room, reading the failed political philosophies of discount Baron Mordo, and pushing your wife and daughter down the stairs to remind them who wears the penis in the relationship. Where was I? Oh yeah, He-Man. I can spend some time taking pot shots at Goldie, because if you know the basic setup from the 1980s Filmation cartoon, you know what to expect from Revelation. A paean to classic MOTU with a better animation budget and a reverence for what came before, right up until things go cattywampus. Hey, I did warn you about spoilers. See, what gets revealed in MOTU Revelation is no less than one of the cornerstones of the original series, He-Man's true identity as Adam, Prince of Eternia. And this information is dumped in the lap of Teela, adopted daughter of Man-at-Arms and Royal Guard of Eternos, just as He-Man splits the Sword of Power into its twin light and dark halves to keep Eternia from blowing to bits after Skeletor shatters a big magical MacGuffin that threatens to nuke all of Eternia. An act that appears to vaporize both the Champion of Grayskull and Snake Mountain's Lord of Destruction, as is expected when you learn that your best friend has been keeping a secret from you just as he dies saving the world. Teela doesn't take it well. Fast forward sometime later and Eternia ain't doing so hot. Teela and her new engineer girlfriend Andra, I see you giggling in the corner, Noelle Stevenson, trust me, I feel the same way, are plying their trade as sellswords in a world where magic, the very lifeblood of the planet, is running dry and threatening to cast the world into ruin. Snake Mountain's power vacuum has been filled by Triclops, who now leads an Adeptus Mechanicus-style technology cult, and even the Sorceress of Grayskull has been robbed of her power. It's up to the remaining defenders of Grayskull, with help from a few of Skeletor's old goons who think Triclops is a schmuck and would rather not stick around to watch Eternia die when its supply of magic runs out, to reforge the Sword of Power and save Eternia. Now, if you're anything like me, you were probably worried that this was going to be a grimdark slog so that dorks pushing 40 could get hoodwinked into thinking, the stuff we grew up with us. And I'm happy to report that this is not the case. While this is certainly dark in spots and more violent than the original Filmation cartoon, the folks at the animation studio behind the Netflix Castlemania and Blood of Zeus have actually dialed back the gore for this one. And the cheesy puns that were a hallmark of the Filmation cartoon are all present and accounted for.
I look forward to our next tussle, but I won't hold my breath.
A series Kevin Smith, who understands his own Gen X nostalgia front to back, has designed from the ground up to appeal not just to a goofball like me, who will tear up at the sight of Cringer or Orko rolling in like a boss. If you guessed my favorite MOTU character, help yourself to a no prize. But also to a younger generation whose first toe dip into this Robert E. Howard Metal Herman Star Wars-inspired madness may have been Noelle Stevenson's landmark She-Ra reboot. And I'm also happy to report that this revamped version of He-Man can stand proud right next to his rebooted twin sister. Yes, there's a stronger nostalgia component here, down to the classic MOTU cast making constant reference to their glory days before the candle flame of Eternia's magic started to gutter, but it doesn't overwhelm the proceedings or require a bunch of priming and pre-washing. If you know your MOTU lore, fine, but if this is your first time delving into the secrets of Castle Grayskull, there's plenty of show don't tell that'll give you the basics. And the pillars that held up this goofy nonsense, where a teenage twink who's never touched a free weight in his life lifts a magic sword over his head and is transformed into a beefcake demigod who can bench press a mountain, still stand up nice and straight. Though the thing that'll probably irk my Nordic nemesis and the same idiots who lambasted She-Ra and the Princesses of Power for being an LGBTQ bulwark rather than a shout-out to their own increasingly damning masturbatory nostalgia is that He-Man is not the main character of this series. It's Teela, who moves the plot along and has the most skin in the game as the mission to save Eternia is stymied by her conflicting emotions over the revelation that her father, her best friend, a goofy court magician, and a not-quite-literal cowardly lion had been lying to her about He-Man's true nature. But it makes a great deal of sense as having a superhuman paladin and a fur speedo can hurl tanks into low orbit as the POV character/protagonist would make for a boring story. And a cast that includes the voice talents of Sarah Michelle Gellar, Mark Hamill, Lena Headey, Kevin Conroy, Henry Rollins, Tony Todd, and Stephen Root is game for all of it. The writing, puns and all, is top flight, and how this story shakes out is something I'm gonna guard like the secrets of Castle Grayskull so you can experience it for yourself. 4 spellbooks out of 4. Kevin Smith, take a bow and you're placed next to Noelle Stevenson. You earned it, old friend. And to the muscle dork who thinks that He-Man is the only thing that matters and that Adam, Teela, Orko, Cringer, the Sorceress of Grayskull, and anyone else who doesn't look like what's staring back at him in the mirror are agents of evil because of some might makes right nonsense, there's a reason you and yours are sealing yourselves into an echo chamber and vanishing up your own asshole. Because you don't actually need to be He-Man to be a master of the universe. And a hero is only as strong as his supporting cast. We, all of us, when we stand together,
Have the power!
Soon, Mr. Ducky, we shall drink the fear of those who mocked us!